Nirupama, and I don't have talking to you on a live. Stopped counting, but no, as always, I'm looking forward to a great conversation. So quickly, for those audiences who are watching us live for the first time, here's Nirupama Vyas, and she will introduce herself in detail. And I'm Ranjini Sanjay. I'm joining in from Chennai, and we have Nirupama from Coimbatore. So tell us a little
Yes,
bit about yourself.
sure, Ranjani. Thank you for this opportunity. For all of those who do not know me, I am Nirupama, born and raised in Delhi. And post pandemic, I have been in Coimbatore. So, if I have to talk a little bit about my backstory, I started as a cop, rather a government official in the security wing of Government of India. That's where my career began, and that helped me to move across the length and breadth of the country. And then finally I transitioned into somebody who was exploring entrepreneurship
Hmm.
and really getting on some business skills, had some freelancing experience, had some startup experience. And in 2020, I started my own webinars around how to be an entrepreneur without leaving your job, because that was my journey, that was my story, essentially how to, really get started along with your job. And with the help of various mentors, both India and abroad, I got an opportunity to really understand more about business skills. But I realized that in this entire journey, the mindset piece was missing. So I started doing more of inner work, and also got initiated as a healer. Being a healer essentially helped me to understand myself, my clients better. What were those physical, mental, emotional, psychological wounds, that they were carrying, that were not allowing them to go all out in their business. And from there, I'm here. We have a company, Sambhav.
Yes.
As the tagline suggests, it's a world of possibilities. Whatever your mind can conceive, it is possible for you to achieve that. And I am on a mission to really help working women and women entrepreneurs to really create a business around what they love doing with fun, ease, and determination. Please, I'm highlighting the word fun and ease here, because when I started my business journey, it was a complete burnout. And I felt that there was nobody to tell me that how, one could really create business with fun and ease. And that's why I wanted to bring more fun, more ease, and a lot of determination for people, so that they can embark on their video journey with full throttle. And with this mission, I'm here with Ranjini, my dear friend. I think we have actually had such great conversations, and whenever she tells me, I can never ever say no to her. Thank you, Ranjini, for hosting me, and I'm so happy to be here.
Thank you, dear. Always being generous to accept my invitation. So for I think when we started like I don't remember the year when we started, but we were in different spectrums.
Yes.
I would say slow a commonality that the kind of work we are doing, being entrepreneurs, having the story remains same, the burnout, and I think we have learned it our way out, like how to have ease and grace as you evolve and serve
Yes,
others and make things happen,
absolutely.
right? So I think it's a journey, and I'm watching you. It's such an amazing space that we inspire each other and many
Absolutely.
other people. And I
Absolutely.
am really proud of what you have been doing and what you're creating.
Not without the cheerleaders around me. Thank you so much.
So today's topic is very special because this is something said videos, like how to ace videos is the topic here, and we get to do this almost every day. Like this is something like no bread and butter for us. Like no, in the morning
Yes.
we have to
Yes.
put some content as a women entrepreneur and have using social media as the powerful tool to reach
Right.
the audience. So
Right.
let's get started. So tell me, Nirupama, like how has been your journey when it comes to the evolution of making videos? And I remember you started way ahead of me. So tell us about that.
Uh, so it's a great question because that is also helping me go in a retrospective way, thinking about my journey. Uh, when I started out, like I said, I was getting my learnings from mentors, both from India and abroad. So every time I was in my office, I used to think that, whatever learning I'm getting, I'm not putting it to any use, and I am actually sitting on that gold mine, but not using it. And that's where it clicked me. YouTube is a place, wherein I can start sharing what I'm learning or whatever is my experience. And I remember it was pre pandemic. I announced this series to everyone out there that, hey, I'm going to help you to turbocharge your productivity. Back in those days, I didn't know, that there's something known as target audience. There's something known as, how you're supposed to structure your videos or not structure your videos, depending on, the purpose of creating a video. So I just started with the backyard of my office and used to have my selfie camera out there and, just being too stiff and tight in creating my videos back then. And those were the times, Ranjani, I want to tell you, I used to really mug up the script and I used to beat myself up. Hey, Nirupama, you are not able to remember that entire script for yourself. And, when I actually look at those videos, I I am actually laughing at my body language, the way I am speaking to the camera and so stiff, not wanting to move. And then, those were the times when it used to be 10 takes, 20 takes, 50 takes sometimes, really looking at getting into that perfectionist syndrome. So there are two P's I want to talk about. One is procrastination. Most of the people feel that, we cannot start with our video journey till the time, we are perfect with our script, we are perfect with our equipments, we are perfect with everything around that is required. And there is perfectionism, which was me, that I cannot complete my video till the time everything is right, everything is sorted. So those were the days, when I started my video journey. And as I progressed, I understood that, a video could have different forms. It could be entertainment, it could be inspiration, it could be motivation, it could be simply, sharing your knowledge with your audience. And here I am today, talking to my audience and your audience, talking about how to ace your videos as a woman entrepreneur. So that's been my journey and that's been my evolution, as you asked me, Danshani.
Yeah, we will talk about what you accomplished in this arena as a speaker, as a coach, as a mentor.
Yes.
But your journey, how you started, I think this will be a great inspiration for many who are just thinking of shooting their first video and no posting on social media.
Yes.
And like I am more of an imperfect act. Do what my mentor says, and I don't care how it lands. So I remember my first
Sure.
live. I remember she gave me a challenge of going live 60 days on FB, and my
Yeah.
first live was like this. Like you can never see it straight. It's still there. Showing that to my students. Like this is how I started, and wherever I am, I'm so proud of how I have, who I have become in the process. So, having
Absolutely.
said that, can you tell us the biggest mistakes? Like maybe you have seen people doing. Like what are those mistakes that you want to highlight in this conversation today?
Sure. Well, I have done a whole lot of mistakes. I will actually start with a quote that a master has done far more mistakes than a beginner has ever tried. And I want to tell it to the people out there, and I will keep repeating myself during this show that it is so important to be failing. It is so important to be doing those mistakes. And only when you do those mistakes, you fail fast and you fail forward, you know. So the first mistake that I'm going to talk to you, Ranjani, about is the lack of clarity of purpose. A lot of times we are not clear. Essentially, what do we want to create a video around? Is it an educational video? Is it an inspirational video? Is it a video that you want to use for your VSL video sales letter? Or is it something,
Yeah.
you are trying to actually just do it for your branding? We are not really clear about the kind of videos that we are doing, and I have seen entrepreneurs do this one mistake. They are trying to do many things in one single video. And I would like to give an analogy of a burger. Like if you have too many fillings in that burger and you try to eat that burger, everything is going to fall apart you know so when people are overloading things, overloading information, overloading value, and not understanding the purpose of creating the video, that's like the first mistake that people do. The second mistake that people do is that they feel that, essentially, I know it all and I need to speak what I know. And I want to tell all the women entrepreneurs, all the entrepreneurs out there, people, this is not the place to brag your knowledge. This is not to tell people that how smart you are. I would really want you to research your audience's pain points and address them in your content. For instance, when I was preparing, and I did prepare for this show because I wanted to give better value to the audience. So I was just thinking of that, hey, what are the pain points,
Yeah.
that people face when it comes to creating videos? And that is the same thing that you got to do as an entrepreneur. You need to focus on what people want rather than what you want to share. I want to repeat this statement. You want to focus on what people want rather than what you want to share. And finally, this is one mistake, because you asked me what is one of those mistakes that you have done. Everything was good, the content was good, the script was good, but sometimes in the beginning, I did not check the audio quality and the video quality. So when people neglect the lighting, when people neglect the sound, and when people neglect the camera stability, this actually ruins your video and it does not give you a world class video. Now, I'm not telling this to the people who are beginning with their video journey, but if you have started making a few videos, then the next level of your videos would be to invest in some good lighting, have a clear microphone so that your voice is going well, have a tripod so that the camera is on a stable surface for recording, and all of these things will come handy, when it comes to shooting your video. So I would just want to quickly summarize myself: not being clear about the purpose of shooting the video, ignoring your audience's need and talking about what you want to talk, and poor visual and audio quality. So these are some of the mistakes that I feel, a lot of entrepreneurs make when they are starting out with their video journey.
Excellent. These are great pointers. I think for all failed, initially when we were doing, and over a period we have understood, or we have streamlined things like, yes, this. And
Yes,
I think this is a part of, everybody, every beginner will go through some kind
absolutely.
of, falls before. Uh, all right. So
Absolutely.
moving on, Nirupama, like as we both work with women majority, majorly, like when it comes to entrepreneurship. So tell us like how they should use video as a tool to, leverage or, create their brand, visibility, I would say, or credibility. So what strategies that you would recommend, like how they can use videos for their
Sure,
business?
sure. I'll really talk about that. See, the first thing I want to tell you is that video is one of the tools that is a big, big way. It's going to help you in creating your credibility, in creating your trust with the audience. Now, since you're asking me specific strategies, I'm just wanting to get the answer clear. Are you looking at that? How should they be making videos, or are you talking about, how they can use videos to really shape their personal brand? I'm just wanting to get the question right.
Yeah, so it is more about, how they can use it for their personal branding, the
Mm-hmm.
videos. So how they can establish themselves as an authority in the market, like using videos as their social media content, which eventually builds trust and connects the audience.
Sure, sure. So, people, all of you who are feeling that, I want to really start building trust and connection with my audience, the first thing, as I said, it is not about you, it is about your audience. So, I would want you to do some homework. And as a part of this homework, I would want you to understand that what are the problems that your audience wants you to solve. Ask them some questions that, hey, would you give me some questions that you would want me to put in my next content piece? And while you are giving that, you could also give some actionable tips, Like if I have to give you an example, 5 steps by which you can make creative videos, and I'm giving those 5 actionable steps, you know, so you can create an entire video around that. Or you know, let's say, Ranjani, we both are talking about women as such. So one of the specific challenges that busy moms face is that how to balance between work and entrepreneurship. And if we can actually create a video around that, that is solving one of the most critical problems that, you know, women essentially face, right? So the first piece of advice would be to share some valuable expertise around the problems that your audience is facing, answering some questions, and also giving them some actionable tips. The second piece that I would want to give you is, since you're looking at building credibility, nothing builds credibility more than your client testimonials and the case studies. So if you can talk about some authentic success stories, you know, that have really created great transformation for you and your audience, you know, that would instantly build credibility and inspire trust, you know, in your target audience. One thing that I am working on, Ranjani, I'm going to talk about that these days. One is that is behind the scenes. You know, when people get to know that you are as human as somebody else, and if you can show glimpses of your daily work,
Yes.
you know, how you plan your stuff, how you do your team interactions, so that transparency will essentially help people understand that what amount of effort is going behind this brand, you know, how she's moving ahead in providing value to her customers, to the how she is really having those meetings with her team and ensuring that, you know, the best product or the best service comes out. And finally,
Yes.
Ranjani, I would say, engage with your audience as much as you can. You are a servant leader. So if you can really respond to their comments on a regular basis, if you can answer their questions, if you can go on lives like this, you know, the way me and you are going, and ask them that, hey, what is it that you would want me to speak on? So, you know, that would really help you in building a lot of trust, and people consider that as, you know, you're approachable. Like if you see yesterday, our Prime Minister Modi had met the Kapoor family, you know, and one of the statements that, the actor Saif Ali Khan said that, I have met you twice and I haven't met any other prime minister so far. So by doing that one thing and then circulating that video around that, so the prime minister actually showed that how accessible, how approachable, you know, he is.
Yes.
So in the same manner, you show your approachability, that people can reach out to you and you can create content around what people want you to create content around. So
Yes.
that's essentially what I would want to say.
Yeah, this is something great that you have shared. Like when it comes to, it's like, I have often heard this from my mentors also. It's not just about impressing people,
Yes.
inspiring the
Yes.
content, like how you can be that inspiration. And one of the access that you gave was to be approachable, be available, and the engagement part. Definitely, I agree. Like the more you engage with your audience media, like often we have this feeling like अब मैंने डाल दिया video, अब likes and no comments आने चाहिए, but how much are you giving, आप कितना लोगों को follow
Absolutely.
करते हो? So that is what reciprocity, it
Reciprocity.
comes back to you,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. So I'm just reminded of this singer Diljit Dosanjh. I'm a huge fan of Diljit Dosanjh, you know, his Punjabi tracks and all. So I was hearing one of his interviews, and he has his following in millions. And he was just answering in one of the interviews, and he said, I actually reply to each and every comment and each and every message that people are doing on my DM. And I was amazed. I was like, look at that guy. I mean, and he was like, my team doesn't get to know. I get to know things before my team, you know, what the people are telling. So
Yeah.
you understand the current, you know, like what is it that people want out of you. And I tell my team always, you know, if my audience wants me to dance, I will dance. If my audience wants me to sing a song, I'll sing a song, because ultimately we got to go according to what audience wants.
Wow. Perfect. So it's a role, it's an example that we are here to inspire people and we are here to serve, and we are delivering what is needed to serve our
Absolutely.
audience. Right.
Absolutely.
So all the audience, you may be hearing some, noise at the background. It is Kartik Deepam. We are celebrating and are coming from Tamil Nadu, joining live. So the noises are from both places. So those who are celebrating this festival, no, my from my end for everyone, and being part of Tamil Nadu, we get to. It's India is a country of festivals, and we have so much to celebrate all the time.
And we are celebrating this way. I'm so happy that I am celebrating this moment with you on this live show.
Yeah, and it's like a Diwali for us here. Like for those
Yes.
who don't know, it's a Diwali. There are lights outside, there are crackers, and we are having this conversation. So thank you so much. So moving on, Nirupama, like having said all about the power of videos on social media, like tell us the storytelling aspect of videos, like how critical it is, like how do work on your storytelling abilities to make impactful videos. So
Sure.
just about that.
So I would say I am still, I mean, in progress working on the storytelling part, but whatever I've done, I'll speak from that experience. One of my mentors used to say that a story is the shortest distance between two human hearts. you know it's essentially the moment a story comes, people, you get that emotional connect with people, and that is a reason it's so important for all of you to really talk about your story, because that one story could really inspire many others out there. So I would really want to start with a structure that I have been following, and all of you are there. You can just take your notes. So the first thing that you can always think about is a challenge. Any challenge that happened in your life at any point of time. You were struggling with something, and while you were undergoing that challenge, I would want you to be as authentic and vulnerable, talking about the real experiences, including your failures and the lessons that you have learned. Because we people a lot of times think that on the social media it's good to really talk about our success stories, but I
Yeah.
want to tell you, if you are authentic, your story is more relatable and it builds trust. Like, if I have to tell you, I used to think so many times while doing a job, why am I doing this extra effort? What is it going to build, give me at the end of the day? So it is actually showing the emotion that I used to feel back in those days, and that a lot of my audience are going through at this juncture. So you share a problem or a situation that your audience can identify with. It could be like, I remember struggling to balance my job, me starting a business, just like many of you might be doing it right now. So that is a relatable challenge that your audience feels that, yes, I'm not the only one that who's going through this. And then the second part of the story is the journey. So would want you to focus on the transformation. you know that what is it that you did, what was it that you did. So highlight the journey from problem to solution. What were those actual steps that you had taken to move from that journey? Like, I would talk about, hey, how I turned my passion into a thriving business just using my smartphone, and how I started my first series on turbocharger productivity. So that was my path of the transformation, wherein I was actually shooting those weekly videos. And as much as you can, please incorporate some emotion. This emotion could be excitement, this emotion could be frustration, this emotion could be joy, this emotion could be humor. Because at the end of the day, your audience are going to remember how you made them feel. That's not me, that's Maya Angelou. That people will forget what you said, but they will remember how you made them feel. So you got to make your audience the hero of your story. Now, how do you make your audience the hero of your story? You are going to be positioning your story in a way that it empowers the audience so that they see
Hmm.
that if this person can get these kind of results, then it is so much possible for me to get those kind of results. If I can shoot video, if Ranjani can shoot videos, so can you all shoot videos.
Yes,
So what are you waiting for? Just go grab your camera and start shooting your first video.
true.
So I believe these are certain things, that can really help people in their storytelling process.
Yes.
Ranjani.
Yeah. So thank you so much for sharing this, this strategy of really using a story with the steps, as you said, having a journey, a project you have, and I'm just summarizing what you said, and then talk about the lessons learned and
Sure.
being authentic to what you really felt and your message, like why the hell you're sharing this, how that should be out there to emotionally connect with the people who are watching.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Wonderful. So I have met they really really struggle to face camera. Like we have our own past in the same space, but we could I would say we could overcome, and we have come far. Like I don't say that I'm doing great with the videos.
Yes.
I'm able to use this to at least share what I have to share,
Absolutely.
what I have to say, okay, and create the impact. So I know it's not about looking great, it's about just being there to serve. So what is the mindset behind, like what keeps, like you work with women, especially from the job to a journey, you give them that transition, so the mindset that stops them, or the belief system, you can say, you work on them, and how you bring them to this side of the bridge, like they are confident to do take on a journey and face. How do you help them?
Okay, so out here, I'm just going to talk about some of the mindset shifts essentially that are required. Some of the times, a lot of women have this thing that, hey, I'm not good at technology, or I require some fancy, uh, gadgets or some great equipments, to be shooting that kind of video. And I want to say that you don't require any jazzy technology. All you have to do is to actually get your smartphone. My smartphone is not here, but Ranjani, if it's around you, you can actually show your smartphone to people. So, you all you need to do is to use your smartphone and essentially get started. And Ranjani, as you said that, we both went through the same challenge. The only reason why we were able to reach a little ahead in our journey, because we took those imperfect actions. And a lot of people have this self doubt, they have a lot of fear, when it comes to facing the camera. And I would want to say that courage is not the absence of fear, courage is doing it in spite of fear. And I want to tell you, the first thing that you need to do is to prepare. There is no substitute for preparation. And I'm going to tell you time and again, because no matter how advanced the technology is, we are in the world of AI and machine learning, but still, preparation will get you ready. I may be shooting n number of videos, but every time I want to create a YouTube video, there is a strategy, there is a preparation time, there is a rehearsal time, there's a practice time, and there is a shooting time. So, preparation is so important. The second thing that I would want to tell to the women out there is be willing to step out of your comfort zone. Now, when you are essentially in your comfort zone, you don't want to confront fears. Now, what are these fears? These fears are that people might judge me. How am I looking?
Yes.
I might just fail. I might just falter. People will reject me out there. And with all of this, there is so much of stress and discomfort that they are not even able to take that first step. The 1P that I was talking about, procrastination, not starting. And I want to tell you, those who are scared to fail can never stretch themselves. I want to repeat that. Those who are scared to fail can never ever stretch themselves. And only when you stretch yourself, chances of failure is going to be very high. And you need to be okay to be failing, because failure would bring criticism, failure will bring judgment, failure will bring all of those things that you don't like. It will bring out the ugly side of you. And I would want to give you a solution for all of this. I'll just check if it is here with me. So I have this little healing card. If any one of you really want to work on your failures, and if you're watching this on LinkedIn or anywhere else, you could just DM Ranjani or me, and I'm going to send you a digital version of this healing card. I would want you to talk about all your fears to this card, all the stress, all the judgment, and just try for 30 days. If something shifts for you, and see if you feel the same level of criticism, the same level of judgment that you're getting from people. Because why is it that people don't want to stretch? Because they feel that if I stretch, I'm going to fail. And that is the reason I want you to I want to tell you all that be willing to fail. And here, Ranjani, I would want to give a journal prompt to all the audience out there. If you can journal on this one question, why do you think I will fail? And when you really connect with yourself and ask yourself that why do I think I will fail, you may get answers like, I'm not good enough, I'm not smart enough, I cannot deliver well, I don't look good enough, I'm not capable enough. And whenever you have all these questions, just use this healing card, just speak it out to this healing card and see if something shifts, and then get on to your work again. So these are the little mindset shifts, that I would really want you people to all do. One, prepare. Second, come out of your comfort zone. And the third thing I would say, be willing to fail, because your success is on the other side of failure. And I or nobody or no mentor can actually stop you from failing. You've got to fail. You need to overcome that failure and move to the other side. So
Wow,
that's something I would want to say, Tanjay.
it was so powerful. I think we have lived this journey many times, failing again. Every year, the leap that we take in our work, we stumble, we get up, and
Yes,
we cheer ourselves up, and then we go
absolutely.
ahead. And that's why we have these conversation on different topics. And I am so I would say I don't have a word to express this, like how we have traveled so long, and I'm seeing you grow. And even for myself, like to be each day getting better at what I'm doing every day. And yes, that is
Absolutely.
it. Nothing that can stop and failing, but the game is to get up, get going, and cheer yourself up. And one of our training programs, I remember one this statement from our mentors, like he would say, your mama is nobody's there behind you to
Yeah,
help me give you stand up for yourself. So this is a reminder for all those women not able to expand or stretch their comfort zones. You need to stand, give you uh,
yes,
you have to stand. And that's where the courage, the courage to stand up and go against what your belief system is telling you, that
limiting beliefs.
yeah,
Yes,
I am not good enough. And you have to give a different programming over there, like you're
sure,
strong, I'm confident, and I can do this. Yeah. So thank you so much for
absolutely.
these amazing tips. So final question, when it comes to videos, what is your suggestion? Is it like entire script, or you do spontaneous? Like what is that, your strategy behind that? Like though you have talked about the preparation two, three times in this conversation. So I am very clear, like I can clearly see that preparation. So tell me, what is your take on it? Like
Okay.
scripting or natural?
So I would say there needs to be a balance between the two. While I spoke about preparation, but preparation doesn't mean that, you need to be writing each and everything word by word. I do talk about, understanding that what it is that you are supposed to speak, But those could be certain things that you could have in front of you in some bullet points. And then you can use your own flavor, your own way of presentation, your quirkiness, your, let's say, entertainment part. But I would say, if you are starting with your video journey and if you are being too scripted, it is like being so robotic. Because if you are so robotic, then people on the other side would be like, hey, I don't want to talk to a robot. And that is the reason it starts feeling very unnatural. And, like right now, we are having a conversation and we both are enjoying this kind of a conversation. But if it is too scripted, then it actually turns people off. Now, let me talk about the other side. Now, people say, if we are not scripted, then do you say that do you do away with the script? No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying prior preparation is very important, because you just cannot be irresponsible in speaking anything and everything in front of your video. It is not an entertainment video that I'm actually dancing. If you are a knowledge giver, then be like one. We are into serious business. But instead of reading directly from the script, what I would want you to do is to really understand that what is the intention behind this video, and that's where the purpose comes. That why are you creating this video? Is this video to really it's for a sales pitch that I'm doing? Is this video for let's say my branding perspective? Is this video a pure knowledge video? Is this video entertainment video? Is this video an inspiration video? What is the purpose of that video? Understand that. I'll tell you about one of my clients. So after she writes a script, she takes some time to roll it over her tongue and really feel, essentially how does the video feel? And that is like sharpening the axe before you actually hit it. If you have a blunt axe, you will not be able to cut the tree no matter how many times you're trying. And that is the reason it's good to be rehearsing, having that rehearsal time, because the more you spend time in practice, the less you're going to bleed in war. And it would be a very natural delivery, a very conversational way, when you would be going out there. Now, here I would want to give you a tip. Never write your video, rehearse your video and shoot your video the same day. Keep one day for scripting your video, wherein you're just thinking, okay, these are like the important things I would want to say. Then maybe after a couple of hours, or say the next morning, just go through that video, rehearse that video like the way my client does. She rolls it over her tongues and sees, is it natural to me? Can I actually put my own flavor? Start, practicing that video, rehearsing that video. And then after, you're very comfortable with that part, shoot the video the next day, because essentially when you're shooting your video, you need to be in a very relaxed state. And if you're not relaxed, it is visible on your face. And your audience get it, because ultimately your audience is connecting to the energy with which you are speaking out there. And that is the reason, to all the women entrepreneurs out there, I would say, be as relaxed, be as happy. And relaxation doesn't mean that, hey, I need to be, very happy-go-lucky. You could go in your normal state, yet you are very effective in your conversation. So you choose your style. I'm not here to tell you your style. You know it better. But just be very relaxed and do your video with a lot of peace and ease. That is one message if I have to give you, I would give you.
So this is, very nicely you have put and given some amazing tips. I think, people would replay it again and again to make notes, and what you have shared around creating videos, like all this, tricks that you have shared. Like maybe, I also do this often. Like, I would lot of number of times to make it natural, or like it should look like as if I'm speaking, rather than I've mugged up few lines and I'm just trying to say that in front of.
Yes.
And very important reminder, like being at ease and grace. Like it's the energy at which you shoot, and that's the video. So all of that matters, and I hope this conversation helps you creating impactful videos. Please follow Nirupama for more tips and how she helps women entrepreneurs. So Nirupama, tell the audience like how they can find you, what is the best place or best times to reach you, about your social handles.
Yes. So the best place to reach me is on my LinkedIn, where some of you might be watching this video. You can just DM me, and I'll be very happy to answer any of your questions that you have with regard to entrepreneurship, with regard to creating your videos, or anything that you are dealing with, your mindset in terms of your entrepreneurship. The second best place is my YouTube channel, Nirupama Vyas. That's where you can find me, and you will find all my latest videos and a lot of content, free content, which you can listen to and get some good knowledge from there. And the third place, I would say, where I'm most active is Threads. So this is a new platform where I'm going, and I'm really enjoying those one-liners, because I have been of that era wherein we used to have T-shirts, and on our T-shirt days used to be one-liners. So Threads, you can again find me on Threads at nirupama.vyas. That's my handle on Threads. So these are the three platforms where I'm most active right now. And if you want to reach out on all these three places, you will find a link to my calendar. You can book a call if you want to talk. Or if you want to reach out to Ranjani, she's my very dear friend. I think she's the best person to reach out to if you want to get connected to me.
So all of those who are listening this so far, I hope you enjoyed, as I enjoyed having conversation with Nirupama every time. And it's so amazing to see you and spend time with you. And I more stories, many more gets to be shared in the future coming years, and we will meet again. I will
Absolutely.
information that you have shared the links
Sure.
on the description of this we can find, and
Sure.
I'll see you soon everyone. I'm basically a business myself, so excited to see you.
Please.
So I help life coaches, healers make their dream income and impact. I'm a business coach, and you can find me on LinkedIn, YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook. So this is a live stream on FB as well, so people can, I think, reach out to you on FB as well, on Facebook.
Not much.
Okay, so please stay with LinkedIn and Threads. So, and otherwise me. So on Facebook, please reach out to me if you want to connect, Nirupama. All right. Okay, dear. Any other message before we stop this conversation, or we just close this live stream?
So I would just say my favorite one liner: own your greatness and soar high, because the world needs that special you. Please take care of yourself, all the women entrepreneurs out there.
Wow. Thank you. Thank you. This reminds me of my first interview with you. Yeah, high voltage. High
This is
voltage.
constant.
Yeah, that high voltage. All right, dear. Take care. Have a great evening. I'll see you soon. And I love you.
Take care. Thank you. Thank you for all the love. Thank you.